Guys, it's Monday.
It's Monday, we're just on our sprint planning for the week. Pretty straightforward this time around. So Jack's just finishing off the Coming Pixels comic DLC. You're halfway there now, literally at 20 out of 40, so you're halfway there. I'll be doing more Wooloop. I've got 4 levels left for that, so I'll probably find some more tasks towards the end of the week. We'll see how that goes. And then you're doing more Xbox stuff, right?
Yeah, Xbox. Hopefully get Hexseed working. Well, it does work, doesn't it? But
Finish it up.
Okay, so starting off the week with a bit of bug fixing for colouring voxels with the DLC coming out last Friday. Then it basically gives us time to actually fix a couple of things that have been needing fixing. So a lot of it's just been editor stuff really, and we don't really want to be working on that just before a DLC release in case something breaks, you know. So a couple of things that just needed fixing. One of the things was that these little numbers at the bottom basically didn't have this little outline, so when it was black, like this 33 here, you just couldn't read it at all. So if I turn it off, that's basically what you could see before, but now I've re-enabled that and fixed it. For some reason it was just set to a black underline, which is not what we want, so I think it's usually like halfway with a bit of transparency. Yeah, that's working. And then there are a couple of in-editor things as well, so when Jack is importing levels, more of the settings are reset. But yeah, now I'm going to crack on to Xbox stuff.
I came to realise that I haven't really shown off the process that I'm using for creating the Comic XL DLC. I'm sort of using the same process as the old Comic DLC, but I'm sort of doing it one panel at a time. So you can see here for the storyboard, I haven't filled in everything. I didn't do the first 5 panels because I did that for the store page long ago. But you can see here, I'm sort of just sketching them in as I go. I'm spending a lot more time on each panel and seeing if they work in pixel art rather than just drawing the whole thing out and then sort of just being stuck with them sort of panels. You can see here, they're looking pretty good so far. Some of them are really light, but some of them have a lot more detail. You can see here with the introduction of the villain character, I'm spending a lot more time sort of penciling it in, see how I want it to look, and I think I'm sort of getting the style that I want. For example here, you can see with this one over here, where the 3 bears leave the actual story. It's a very, very light and rough sketch, but you can see if you go over the pixel art version, that's how it turned out. I sort of know how it's going to look in my head. I'm sort of just penciling out the base frames and layout just so I know where the story is going to go and how the panel overall will look compared to each other on the storyboard. So yeah, I'm going to crack on now and draw another 5 panels in. I'm typically doing 5 at a time. So this is the first one here. So if we draw it in, this will be drawn that one. This will be the next 5, and I think it's going to be the introduction of, like I said, the villain character, which is going to be a swan. So I'm going to get that drawn in, and then I'll draw the pixel art and finish off those 5 panels too.
Okay, so just a little bit of a random whiteboard sesh to start off the day. We're applying for the UK Games Fund grant again. So this time we're going for our tabletop idea, basically utilising the other side of the office. And the guys are helping me do some prep work for the presentation and things that we need to send off. There's a big long application form that we have to fill out, and then we have to make a video as well. So yeah, we were just sketching this morning some ideas of the games that we can do. Essentially, we're going to pitch a collection of 5 games for people to play on a screen, all gathered around. One is Tank Game. It's an old game that's made years and years ago now, but we think it'd be really good for the format of being top down and things like that. So it's sort of like the top down view, tanks shoot, the bullets bounce, things like that, so you can get some crazy shots off. Very exciting and energetic game. We've also got Deadbeat, which is what these things were. We were talking about how Deadbeat would work in sort of like a concept of like level design and things like that. So saying that we could have all of the beats in the middle defending against the zombies going on the outside, or vice versa, and we can still try and have sort of like a wave defense thing, so all of you beats are defending on this side of the screen while the zombies are coming in from this side. But yeah, more on that later in the week, I think. But yeah, it's just nice to apply for something. If we don't get it, it's fine, but yeah, we should try. Okay, and the other thing I've been working on today and a little bit of yesterday was basically the performance for colouring voxels. So it's been a long-standing issue that the performance of the game is just a bit rubbish, really. So I've been working on a system to... I pressed play and nothing's happening, so this is a great start. Basically working on a system to try and simplify the meshes in-game. So you can see we've got the profiler here. A lot of the work I've done so far has been on this main menu because there's the most faces and things that you need to render, because you need to render the entire world. And this is all using ECS, but in-game doesn't. So if we load up Blacksmith, the Blacksmith level here, can see that the game starts loading in, and then gradually, as the layers get populated, the FPS gets worse and worse and worse. But what the new script that I've added is doing as we speak is it's basically going through each layer, getting all of the blocks, and then simplifying them. So you can see with each iteration, the FPS is getting faster and faster. So now we're well above 60 FPS for this level, which is really good. Before it was about 30. And yeah, so these objects are essentially just like, instead of rendering in each individual cube, it's making one asset that contains all of the face data that we need to render for each layer. So that's really cool. Throttle gaps here in the middle. That's just because any of these special materials, such as these glass planes here, these kind of need to be as a block, maintained as a block. These flowers, for example, here as well. Just because the way that the shaders work, we sort of assume that each shader is in a block by itself. So we're just keeping that, but all of the default colors we can simplify into a single color. And then on the inside faces here, there's a lot of instances where there's one color type next to another color type, and we render both of those just in case that one of them is see-through or something like that. But yeah, fingers crossed we should be able to get this tested and out, and fingers crossed people will be very very happy with the new performance.
Okay, so a pretty different day today for me and probably Lee as well. We're essentially working on assets for Rob's presentation on Friday, I think it is, sort of making assets of how we think the party games will look. Essentially, that's my job, sort of coming up with sort of visuals where Lee's doing sort of the game design stuff. So for the train game, the third game that we're wanting to try out, obviously it's going to be like a sort of a train going through the tracks, and it's going to be sort of, I think Lee's idea is sort of have characters sort of being manipulated around to increase people's happiness. So some people want to be next to certain people next to the windows, blah blah blah. But obviously my job is just to make the visuals. So you can see here I've got the train working, and it looks pretty good. It's quite a quick model. I didn't do anything too extravagant. As he said, it's going to be on a screen on a table, so it's going to be quite small in the actual prototype. So if we go here, you can see the actual trains going along. And I did render that using some freestyle lines as well, which is something I don't typically do, but it gives it a nice sketchy look. So if we do a quick render of an image, you can see here, put some outlines on them. Perhaps a bit too thick now that I'm looking at it, but it's fine for now. But after that, I needed to actually build the table. So we don't actually know what the table is going to look like. So I did a quick mock of what I think it may look like. I know one of Rob's suggestions was to make it a bit more wide in design, just so that the TV fits a bit more clean in the middle. I think that looks really nice. It's sort of like a snooker table / a D&D table, which I quite like. Obviously, we've got the PC sitting in here. Again, quite a rough model, nothing too detailed. You can see the UV maps breaking a little bit there because I did it quite quickly, but again, it's okay for a prototype. As the last bit here, we've actually incorporated them together. So if we jump over to this other Blender file, you can see we've got the actual table set up in a scene here, so how I do for SkyTed renders. And if we go to render image, you can see here that we've actually got the game inside the table. And this is actually quite a cool thing that Blender has, where you can sort of add videos to planes. So if I quickly open up the video here and we play the render out, you can see the game is actually playing inside the table. So as you can see here as well, I did actually change the scene to a bit more of a top-down view, as I think it'll be probably better for the game and the table itself rather than an orthographic side view. I think that works better. So I've got that rendered now, and I've sent them over to Lee as well as all the little screenshots that I've been taking as I go through. And now I'm going to work on the tank game. See if I can make that look pretty cool on a tank. Make that look pretty cool on a table as well. So we'll see how that goes.
So as the guys previously mentioned, we're putting together a pitch for the UK Games Fund. I'm putting together this pitch deck. It's sort of a cross between a pitch deck and a sort of baseline for a video, similar to what we did for the Skyside Kingdom pitch a year or two ago. And yeah, I've been going through sort of putting in animations and stuff just to try and flesh it out a bit, to make it more interesting. The idea is this is sort of Rob can use this to sort of cheat together a video. Obviously stuff that need to be fixed, I'm sure, but try and make it interesting as possible. So the idea being Robert can record this as he's talking over it, and then yeah, this is the most interesting bit. I spent a bit of time on this. So Jack made this render of a table. I think he showed it off, and I've put on this sort of the game look, what it may look like. And as you click, it sort of changes as if, like, you know, there's been votes cast by the players. You then play the game you chose, and it goes back, and whoever had the highest score gets a little crown, a little indication that they won. And yeah, just going through fleshing this out. There's a lot more of work to do. So I've only just got to the main bit here, which is actually the games, and there's nothing on there yet. So yeah, still a lot more work to do, but I'm going to finish here for a day, and then we'll Rob can have a go at hopefully using this for his video.
Okay, so yesterday I was working on the train game concept as well as the gaming table overall sort of design. As you can see here, I'm working on the next game in the party pack, which is going to be sort of like the tank game that I think Rob made a little while ago, but it's sort of like a reinvented version for the tabletop version here. And yeah, it's looking pretty good. Like I said, I've quickly whipped up the model here. It didn't take too long at all. Let me put on the cavity map so we can see a bit easier. There we go. And yeah, it's looking quite nice, quite a simple design. The UV map took a little while because there's some complicated shapes here to work with, but I think I've got a nice clean one so far. All that I need to do now is add in the actual tanks. So I'll get that model and then I'm going to jump over to texturing. But I thought I'd point out as well why I'm actually doing the 3D modeling, because I know typically when you're doing concept pieces, it would be in 2D sketches like I usually like to typically do. I really enjoyed that process, but I just thought for the concept of actually showing off a design in the best possible way for a 3D game, or a sort of game that's going to be a tabletop anyway, it'd be better and also faster just to show off the actual design in a 3D space. And I think that's how I'm going to approach all the concepts really. I think it's the last one anyway, so at least now they'll all be consistent. So yeah, I'm going to get this all textured up and we'll see how it looks in a few hours. Hopefully it'll be nicely rendered. And I think as well I'm also going to animate. I think Rob wanted me to show off, if I could, how the game will actually work. So I'll probably have a tank sort of shooting in and ricocheting the bullets off the wall to try to hit the other tank. So maybe I'll put like the tank here and have it like ricochet like this direction. I think I can draw it. So do this, bang, bang, bang. I think I'll do that, and that should give off a clear example of how the game will actually work.
Yeah, today's been a bit of a interesting day, to be honest. So we were visited by HMRC. This is like a scheduled thing. They didn't just come like knocking on the door. But essentially we were being checked. It's almost like an audit. There's a technical term for it. I can't think at the moment. Long story short, we've been paying, we've been doing things wrong. Something was wrong in the back end for the pay-as-you-earn for Jack's national insurance contributions. Everything that he's been getting is correct and stuff, but we haven't been paying the employee side of it. So that actually means that like every year that Jack's been, or every month that Jack's been here, around £200 we should have been paying extra to HMRC. That's going to add up. So there might be, well, there will be a hefty bill for us to pay, because yeah, it'll be in the order of thousands. But thankfully the guys came in, they were super helpful. They basically asked us loads of questions, checked a bunch of other stuff just to make sure that we weren't really doing something obviously fraudulent. It was just a mistake, so it should be fine. But yeah, it's something that we're gonna have to sort out, and hopefully they'll help us with a payment plan to actually like help it, because it's gonna be an awful lot of money. But yeah, other than that, we've just been working on the pitch for the UK Games Fund. Hopefully some footage of Tank Game and Deadbeat is on screen. That's just because me and the guys have all just quickly jumped on just to get some recorded footage for us to use in the pitch video that I'll be making tomorrow.
Okay, so just a quick update on the tank game concept I was working on this morning, and there's a lot of back and forth between sort of HMRC, I'm blanking now, sorry, HMRC came and obviously there's a lot of back and forth between there, talking to them and stuff like that, so it was a bit slower than I thought, but we got there in the end, and we did a quick few renders as well. As you can see here, the texturing looks quite nice, and only wanted a sort of solid colour palette of the red and the blue tanks. I think I've conveyed that pretty well, and I've also did a little animation here of them, of this blue tank ricocheting the ball off the edge here to hit the red tank, just to demonstrate for the pitch meeting. But yeah, looks pretty good. But as for that, I think that's me done now for all the pitch meeting assets, unless there's anything else that needs like doing as an emergency. But I think apart from that, it looks pretty good. There's a quick little render of it as well, you can see. All done.
As the guys touched on a bit earlier, I've finished up the pitch deck for the application for the UK Games Fund. I've showed off quite a bit of this yesterday, but using Jack's new art assets up there in the top right there for Tank Game. Also just filling out these pages with the actual game information. So especially the Tankino one. You've got one here. If you click here, up here in the top right, we'll have a little bit after this text. Bit of an animation, if you can call it that. It's just slideshow showing that, you know, giving it a bit of an inspection of the game. Jack made that image there as well, of a little looping video. And yeah, that's just filled all out. There's still empty sections here. If we jump back out the back, that's mainly because I'm not sure if we need these pages, because again, this is sort of like half pitch deck, half video, because Rob's going to be using this to talk over. So most of this might get rearranged to fit his needs better, and these ones at the bottom may or may not be filled in, so we may not need them. So they're there if you want them, and you can delete them if not. Other than that though, spent the day doing Woloop, so I've just finished up with this level here. So it's this Game Seasons DLC. This is a very autumnal image. It's a pumpkin spice latte, I do need to make one little change here. When this animation finishes up in the top right of the cream here, one line here, this one there isn't double line, so I'll quickly fix that. But that'll get pushed off, and then there'll be one more image left to go.
Luna.
Okay, so I'm carrying on with the Comic XL DLC today. It's actually been a full day of work on this DLC. It's been quite nice over the past few days. I've kind of been doing half and half with the sort of pitch meeting stuff, but today, like I said, I've got a full day to work on it. I've done my 5 sketches for the day that I want to get done, sort of, you know, in Procreate here, the quick sort of mock-ups that I can start to work on for the rest of the week in pixel art. And I've primarily been working on these first 3 here, which is the bears doing a little travel montage to their next location. I can see here, if we jump over to Pixaki here, we can have a quick look. So yeah, here's the one of the mountain as they're traveling via boat across the lake. And yeah, I'm quite happy with these so far. I'm really trying to keep that comic book style sort of present in these bigger scenes, as it's quite hard to incorporate the dithering in scenes as large as this. But you can see, I think I've incorporated in quite a cool way with like the sky dithering here. It's not overdone. I think it's quite subtle, but it still keeps that sort of retro comic look. I'm currently working on the next scene after, which is the pier scene where the boat is docked and the bears are walking along the pier. Now, I was originally going to have it the same sort of set the time of day, but I think I'll actually change it to make it a bit more dusk, so it looks like a lot of time is taking place as they're traveling across the lake, which is why the sky is now different from the sea. Sorry, the lake. I've been changing it up. So I need to go in now and actually change the water to sort of match the sky scene and sort of colour blend the mountain so it blends in with the sort of sky a bit more. As right now it's got a bit more bluish hue to match the water, but it needs a bit more of a pinkish hue. So I'm going to work on that a little bit later. But as for now, I'm going to quickly jump over and finish off my Switch Collection 7 stuff. I've only got one image to go. I've got that done. I think that's all wrapped up, so then I can jump back over and do this stuff.
So I had a quick bit of QA this morning for the colouring voxels updates I've been doing. So you may notice this is the underwater DLC, as given up all the water in this level. And essentially what I've been working on upgrading or updating the FPS to make it work a bit smoother. So this is the Hammerhead Shark level, which is the largest one in the underwater world. We previously introduced a level, or a setting, sorry, to hide the water because it would just tank the FPS. You can see right now it's sitting at 55, 56. Again, bit of a leeway for the fact that this is the largest level, but considering previously this level would be sitting on 15, anywhere between like 4 and 15 FPS, this is a drastic improvement. And this sort of stress testing the setting. But from what I can make out, the way Rob has implemented the FPS counting now, or the way it tracks the performance, is it's only in relation to what's left on the layer. So as we complete more of this layer, we may have to do a little time-lapse zoom up here. Yes, as you complete more of the layer, you can see that the FPS in the top right there is slowly increasing as well. So what was originally sitting at about 55 has gone up to 90, and as we complete more, it will continue to climb. So it's no longer taking into account every single voxel in the level in order to, and what it's considering for the performance. And there we go. So I'm climbing beyond the 100 because I have set the FPS to unlimited, turned off VSync, just for the testing purposes, and yeah, it's working really well.
Okay, so I've been working a lot on a pitch video for the UK Games Fund. That's been a lot of the week, but today taking a little break from that to basically get Collection 7 on Switch out. So we've been QAing it in the back, just on the back burner for a little while now. We managed to finish the entire game. There's a long list of fixes, mainly level fixes, just like if I go all the way down to this one, Long Night. There were just a couple of pixels that could have been better. And you see here that they've been adjusted here. It's all just stuff in this corner. Where is it? Yeah, just a few pixels like under this rock and things like that. But yeah, that's all done. So quickly getting it all working again, everything re-imported, and we're going to set it off to Nintendo.
Okay, so I'm cracking on with the Comic XL DLC. I'm actually making a lot more progress than I originally thought. I think I said to the guys this morning that I'm up to about 26, but it's actually 28. So I'm quite happy with that. And you can see here I'm working on the panels just after the little travel montage stops, and they've wandered into this sort of porridge trap here. But I'm really happy with the style of these ones. I think the guys mentioned that they want the sort of action dialogue to be a bit bigger and a bit more dominant, so I've made sure that from now on they're going to be a lot bigger, and towards the end of the DLC I'll go back and make these ones larger as well. So yeah, really happy with this design. But as for now, I think like I said, I've hit 28 and I'm coming towards the end of the DLC, and I think I've got about 12 panels to go, so I've decided that for the rest of the panels I'm just going to sketch them all out and sort of get a solid ending. So then next week I can just go through all the pixel art and just get it all done in one go. You can see here we've got this is the panel that I've just showed you in pixel. This is the Procreate version that I sketched in. Pretty much one-to-one, really. It hasn't really changed it at all. As you can see now, I'm working on the 3 next panels where one of the bears runs hopelessly into a trap.
Guys,
Hello.
Hello.
Busy week.
It's the end of the week. As this video coming out, we have a DLC coming out next week, which is the Comic XL, so it's 40 images instead of the normal 20. And so you check that out. And then busy week for DLC. We have the time travel DLC.
Yep.
Come out a week after that for voxels, and then we have the season DLC, which is all wrapped up now. Quite ahead of schedule on that, quite nicely. But that's also available. Check out the store page for that and wishlist it to keep up to date with it.
And yeah, thanks to all our Patreon members as usual, our Discord members, and everyone who joined the stream today, because it will be a stream day. Thanks all for coming.
flawless as always, guys. Flawless.
Flawless.